We are more connected than ever before. Thousands of followers, hundreds of messages, endless scrolling. And yet, this might be the loneliest generation in human history. How is it possible that in a world where you can talk to anyone, anytime, so many people feel like they have no one at all? The illusion of connection. Look around you. Right now, billions of people are online, sending messages, watching stories, reacting, scrolling. We are more connected than any generation in history. And yet, why do so many people feel completely alone? Why does silence feel heavier, even when our phones are full of notifications? Maybe the problem isn't that we are disconnected. Maybe the problem is that we are connected in the wrong way. The promise of technology. When social media first arrived, it promised something beautiful. No more distance, no more loneliness, no more lost friendships, just instant connection. You could talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. You could share your life with the world. It sounded like a dream, but slowly something changed. We stopped connecting deeply and started connecting quickly. We stopped talking and started reacting. The shift from connection to consumption. Think about how you use your phone. You don't really talk anymore. You scroll. You don't really listen. You consume. Hundreds of faces, thousands of posts, endless content. But how many real conversations did you have today? Not likes, not emojis, not replies. Real conversations. Because there is a huge difference between seeing someone's life and being part of it. We are drowning in information, but starving for connection. The fake sense of belonging. Social media gives us something dangerous. The feeling of connection without the reality of it. A like makes you feel noticed. A comment makes you feel valued. A message makes you feel important for a moment, but it fades quickly. And when it does, you feel even emptier than before, because fake connection is worse than no connection at all. It gives you hope, and then quietly takes it away. The loneliness behind the screen. Here's what most people don't show you online. The person smiling in photos might feel lost at night. The person with thousands of followers might have no one to call. The person always online might feel the most disconnected. We are all performing happiness, while privately struggling with emptiness. And because everyone is performing, no one realizes how alone everyone actually is. Why real connection is disappearing. Real connection requires something uncomfortable. Time, attention, vulnerability. But today, we avoid all three. We prefer short messages over long talks. We prefer entertainment over emotional honesty. We prefer control over vulnerability, because real connection means risk. Risk of rejection, risk of silence, risk of not being understood. So instead we choose distance and call it being busy. The cost of illusion. The biggest cost of this illusion is not just loneliness. It is emotional numbness. We stop expecting deep relationships. We stop opening up. We stop trying. And slowly, we start believing this is normal, that everyone feels a little empty, that everyone is a little disconnected, that this is just how life is now. But it's not. This is not human nature. This is digital adaptation. What real connection looks like. Real connection is simple but rare. It's a conversation where you don't check your phone. It's someone remembering how you feel, not just what you say. It's being able to sit in silence without discomfort. It's not about how many people know you. It's about how deeply you are understood. Even one real connection can change a life completely. Breaking the illusion. So how do you break free from this illusion? You start small. You put the phone down during conversations. You ask deeper questions. You listen without planning your response. You show up fully, even when it feels awkward. Because connection is not built through perfection. It is built through presence. We don't need more followers. We don't need more notifications. We don't need more digital noise. We need people who are real. We need conversations that matter. We need moments that feel human again. Because at the end of the day, 1,000 online connections cannot replace one real human connection. The comparison trap. You open your phone just for a second. A quick scroll, nothing serious. But within minutes, something changes. Someone is traveling. Someone is successful. Someone is happier. Someone is doing better than you. And suddenly, your own life feels smaller. Not because it changed, but because you compared it. This is the comparison trap, and most people don't even realize they are stuck in it. The silent habit. Comparison is not something you decide to do. It happens automatically. You see someone's highlight, and your mind instantly measures your reality against it. Their success becomes your failure. Their happiness becomes your sadness. Their progress becomes your insecurity. And the worst part, you are not comparing your life to their reality. You are comparing it to their best moments. A life built from carefully selected highlights, compared to your unfiltered reality. That is not a fair comparison. But your mind doesn't care. The social media effect. Social media has turned comparison into a full-time experience. In the past, you compared yourself to your neighbors. Today, you compare yourself to the entire world. Every scroll brings a new reminder. Someone is richer. Someone is fitter. Someone is more attractive. Someone is more successful. And slowly, without noticing, you start feeling behind in life. Even when you are doing fine, you feel like you are losing, because the standard keeps rising and never stops moving. The emotional damage. Comparison doesn't just make you unhappy. It slowly changes how you see yourself. You start doubting your progress. You start questioning your choices. You start feeling like you are not enough. And over time, your own achievements stop feeling meaningful. You reach a goal, but instead of celebrating, you immediately look at someone higher. And just like that, your happiness gets delayed forever, because there is always someone ahead. The illusion of better lives. Here is something important to understand. You are not seeing people's lives. You are seeing their performance. No one posts their failures. No one posts their lonely nights. No one posts their self-doubt. You only see success, beauty, and confidence. And your mind fills in the rest. It assumes they are happy all the time. It assumes their life is perfect. But that is an illusion. Everyone is struggling with something, even the ones you admire the most. Why we can't stop comparing. So why do we keep doing it? Because comparison is wired into the human mind. We measure ourselves to understand where we stand. We look at others to define success. But today, that instinct is overloaded. We are not comparing ourselves to 5 or 10 people. We are comparing ourselves to thousands every day. And the brain was never designed for that. So instead of clarity, we get confusion. Instead of motivation, we get anxiety. The hidden cost of comparison, the real damage of comparison, is not jealousy. It is self-neglect. You start focusing more on others than yourself. You spend more time watching lives than building your own. You lose presence in your own journey. And slowly, your life becomes something you observe, instead of something you live. You are everywhere online, but nowhere in your own reality. Breaking free from the trap. So how do you escape the comparison trap? You start by remembering one truth. You are not behind. You are not ahead. You are on your own timeline. Your life is not a race against others. It is a path meant only for you. When you focus on growth instead of comparison, everything changes. You stop asking why them and start asking what about me? Rebuilding self-focus. Redirect your attention inward. Limit what you consume. Be intentional with what you watch. Celebrate small progress again, because confidence is not built by looking at others. It is built by building yourself. The less you compare, the more you create. And the more you create, the less you feel the need to compare. The truth is simple. There will always be someone richer, someone better, someone further ahead. But none of that defines your worth. Your only real competition is who you were yesterday. And the moment you understand that, the comparison trap loses its power over you. The death of real interaction. When was the last time you had a real conversation? Not a text, not a reply, not a quick haha or emoji. A real conversation where you looked someone in the eyes and actually felt understood. It feels harder to remember now because something has changed. We are still talking, but real interaction is slowly disappearing. The silent shift. There was a time when communication was slow but meaningful. People would meet in person. They would talk for hours. They would argue, laugh, explain, express. Now everything is instant. We don't wait. We don't sit. We don't fully listen. We reply in seconds, but think in fragments. And without realizing it, we started replacing depth with speed. From talking to reacting. Look at how we communicate today. We don't talk anymore, we react. A message comes in, we reply quickly. A post appears, we like it. A story shows up, we swipe. But where is the conversation? Where is the pause, the reflection, the emotional exchange? Everything has become short, fast, and temporary. And slowly, we stopped expressing ourselves fully. We started compressing emotions into sentences, and sentences into emojis. The attention crisis. One of the biggest reasons real interaction is dying is attention. We can no longer sit with one person without checking our phone. Even in conversations, our mind is somewhere else. Half listening, half scrolling, half present. And the person in front of us feels it. Because nothing feels worse than being physically present, but emotionally ignored. Attention used to be the foundation of connection. Now it is the rarest thing we give. The fear of real conversation. Real interaction requires something uncomfortable. Presence, honesty, vulnerability. But today we avoid all three. Because real conversations can't be edited. They can't be deleted. They can't be filtered. So instead, we choose safe communication. Short messages, quick replies, controlled emotions. We stay in the comfort zone of digital distance and call it communication. The loss of emotional depth. When interaction becomes shallow, emotions become shallow too. We stop explaining how we feel. We stop asking deeper questions. We stop staying in conversations long enough to understand each other. We know a lot of people, but understand very few. And that is where the real problem begins. Because humans were never meant to just contact each other. We were meant to connect deeply. The illusion of being social. Today, many people believe they are social because they are always online, always texting, always reacting. But being active is not the same as being connected. You can talk to 10 people a day and still feel like no one truly knows you. Because interaction without depth is just noise, and noise cannot replace connection. What we lost without real interaction, we lost something very important. The ability to sit in silence with someone and still feel comfortable. We lost long conversations that don't need purpose. We lost eye contact that says more than words. We lost presence that doesn't need performance. And in losing these things, we didn't just lose communication. We lost understanding. Can we bring it back? The good news is, it's not completely gone. Real interaction is not dead. It is just buried under habits. And habits can be changed. It starts with small things. Putting your phone down during conversations. Listening without interrupting. Asking deeper questions. Staying present even when it feels uncomfortable. Because connection doesn't require perfection. It requires attention. We don't need more messages. We don't need more notifications. We don't need more digital conversations. We need real interaction again. The kind that makes you feel seen. The kind that makes you feel understood. The kind that stays with you long after it ends. Because at the end of the day, no amount of online communication can replace a real human moment. The hidden fear. There is a fear that most people never talk about. It is not fear of failure, not fear of rejection, not even fear of loneliness. It is something deeper, quieter, invisible, a fear that sits behind your decisions, your silence, your hesitation, and most of the time, you don't even realize it's there. The fear behind the mask. Every day, people act confident. They smile, they talk, they post, they pretend. But underneath that, there is something unspoken. The fear of not being enough, not interesting enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. And because of this fear, people start building masks, carefully edited versions of themselves, designed to hide what they truly feel inside. The fear of being seen. One of the deepest human fears is not failure. It is visibility. Because being seen means being judged, and being judged means being exposed. So people hide. They stay quiet in groups. They avoid speaking their truth. They scroll instead of sharing, not because they have nothing to say, but because they are afraid of how it will be received. So slowly, they become observers of life instead of participants in it. The social media amplifier. Social media didn't create this fear. It amplified it. Now every thought feels like it can be judged by thousands. Every photo feels like it needs approval. Every post feels like a test. And so people start overthinking everything. What will they think? What if I get ignored? What if I'm not good enough? And because of this, authenticity starts to disappear. Only the acceptable version gets shown. The silent control. This fear is powerful because it is silent. It doesn't shout. It doesn't force. It whispers. It says, don't try. Don't speak. Stay safe. And without noticing, people obey it every day. They avoid opportunities. They avoid conversations. They avoid risks. And they call it being careful. But it is actually fear controlling their life. The cost of hidden fear. The cost of this fear is invisible at first. You don't see it immediately. You just feel it slowly over time. Missed chances, unspoken words, unfinished dreams. And one day you look back and realize you didn't fail because you weren't capable. You failed because you were afraid to begin. And that realization is heavier than failure itself. Why we protect ourselves too much. The human mind is designed to protect you. It wants safety. It wants certainty. It wants control. But modern life doesn't require less courage. It requires more. Because everything meaningful in life exists outside your comfort zone. But fear convinces you otherwise. It tells you, stay where it's safe, even when safe means stagnant. The illusion of safety. Here is the truth. Avoiding fear does not remove it. It only grows it. The more you avoid speaking, the harder it becomes to speak. The more you avoid risks, the more dangerous they feel. And slowly, your comfort zone becomes a cage, one that feels safe, but keeps shrinking your life, breaking the fear cycle. The only way out is not elimination. It is action. Small actions. Speaking even when your voice shakes. Trying even when you feel unprepared. Showing up even when you feel uncertain. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement despite fear. And every small step weakens its control. The hidden fear will always try to protect you, but it can also limit you. The difference is not whether fear exists. The difference is whether you listen to it. Because the life you want is almost always on the other side of the fear you avoid. What real connection actually means. Real connection isn't about constant contact. It's about being seen, understood, accepted. It's about having just one person who truly gets you. Not your highlight reel, not your filtered version, but you. And that kind of connection can never be replaced by an app. Breaking free from digital loneliness. So how do you escape this loneliness? Start small. Put the phone down, even for a moment. Look someone in the eyes. Have a real conversation. Be honest, be vulnerable. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels risky, but that's where real connection begins. Not in perfection, but in authenticity. You are not alone in feeling lonely. Millions of people feel the same way. They're just hiding it behind screens. So don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. Reach out, speak up, be real. Because in a world full of noise, genuine connection is rare, and it might just be the one thing that saves us all. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for your time. Maybe something here made you think. Maybe it made you feel something you've been avoiding for a while. And if it did, don't ignore that feeling. Take a moment today and do something real. Message someone you've been thinking about. Have a conversation without distractions. Or simply sit with your thoughts for a while. Because awareness means nothing without action. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And remember, real change doesn't start online. It starts in your life.